IMC stands for International Masters Council worldwide. And we're a movement. And a movement has a philosophy behind it, okay? And so for the next 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to do some of our philosophy with you because our philosophy makes life better. And it works, okay? So I want you to imagine, so far, how many things have worked for you, right? I'm 47, turning 48. So let's see what things have worked. I'm going to look at some stuff that have worked. Lotrimin cream. It's a little fucking cream. You have any kind of little skin thing. Lotrimin works for me. Okay, let's see. Ibuprofen sometimes works for me. Definitely works for me for my fever. Lotrimin, those are medicines. Ibuprofen. Anything work in this world? Oh, not really. Not really. Vaseline works for many things. That's it. Vaseline's a good little product, okay? But what about the stuff you bought, like for bettering yourself? You've been bettering yourself, right? If you're here, you've been working on yourself to some degree. Maybe you picked up some self-help book. See if you've ever read a self-help book, okay? And now I want you to remember the title. Remember the title, right? You bought the book with the hope of achieving the title, right? The Power of Now. Damn. What the hell? Why is it so hard to get into the present time when there's all these books on how to be in present time, right? Maybe you get a glimpse of it 1 second here, a glimpse of it 1 second over there, right? So The Power of Now, people read that book. Let's see what else. How to Influence People and Win Friends, or How to Win Friends and Influence People, or some shit like that. Andrew Carnegie, right? What about that one? Dale Carnegie? Dale Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie is the better one. Dale Carnegie, okay? What about that one? Anybody read that one? Are you able to win friends and influence people? How do you do when it comes to that? Think about it for a second, okay? Maybe you picked up the Bible and you were like, you know what? I'm going to save my soul. How's it going? How you feeling? Huh? Feeling good? Found the kingdom? Huh? You in it? Walking around daily? Nah, you're not. Okay? Maybe you picked up the Quran and you were like, well, maybe this one works. And maybe that one didn't work either. Right? And then I want you to look at how many other people picked up that book and it didn't work. Let's go over some stuff. I just realized there was a book that worked. The name of the book is called The Mystery Method. The Mystery Method works. And I know Mystery. He's the one who taught me, okay? So the Mystery Method works. It's a method that works. Okay? Now, ready? Check this out. All those books, they helped a little bit. The Power of Now helped a little bit. It freed up your soul a little bit as you were reading it because there's truth in it, right? And every time we read truth, we feel better. Then, the Bible, you picked it up and it kind of, we call that raising your Shakti. It opened your heart. The surrender experiment, open your heart. You heard Michael Singer say a few things. You're like, God, that's just like true. I got to do that. The Quran, Buddha, right? Have you read any Buddha books? Right? Buddha means awaken. You awake? You woke up? Are you awake still? Okay, you go back to sleep. Buddha wrote a book and went back to sleep. So they all worked just a little bit, but they didn't work all the way, okay? Because if they did, you'd be in a different condition. Now, ready? I read a book called The Mystery Method, right? And it works. And it worked for me. But check this out. A lot of people read that book. And it kind of worked for them. Let's put that aside. Put it over there, okay? Something else worked for me, and it was hypnosis. Right? I know how to hypnotize people, and it works. Hypnosis worked for me. Now, ready? There are so many lectures and books and videos and classes even, all right? But very few people know how to hypnotize. It didn't work for a lot of people, okay? But it worked for me. Let's put that on the shelf, mystery and hypnosis. Let's put that over there. Oh, something else works for me. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu works for me. Right? The techniques of it work. And so if I do jiu-jitsu, you'll know I know jiu-jitsu because it works, right? let's put the jiu-jitsu over there. So now I have hypnosis, I have the mystery method, social dynamics, and some jiu-jitsu. Taekwondo works for me, you'll know. Boom, let's put that over there. So it's just Korean martial arts, right? Brazilian martial arts, Korean martial arts. So we got Taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, hypnosis, and the other one, mystery method. Okay? See if there's anything else that works for me. Looking over there. Yeah. Probably a few other things, but these things that worked for me, they didn't work for everybody. And I'm going to tell you the difference. Ready? I learned the mystery method from mystery. The guy who wrote the book taught me. I read the book. I watched the videos. I went to his lectures. I befriended him. I became a student. He taught me. That over there. Okay? Hypnosis worked for me because one of the best hypnotists in the world, once I studied everything and I knew I could do it, then I took private lessons with him, and he gave me what I needed to make sure it worked properly. Boom. So now I got mystery taught me. The other guy's name is Anthony Jacquin. You can look him up, right? And then Taekwondo worked for me because I had Taekwondo instructors, Ernie Reyes, Master Reyes, right? Jiu-Jitsu worked for me, Batata, my Jiu-Jitsu coach. And in all of those things I said, I had classmates. Right? For some people it worked. For some people it didn't work. And one big difference I noticed is when it works, there's a teacher there. Right? And the tradition that we come from is really important because traditions are important. Okay? In today's world, when someone is a teacher, that word doesn't have that much respect behind it. Put some respect on it. There's no respect behind a teacher, okay? So we're going to put the word teacher in the corner to the side for a second. Down there. And then we're going to go and we're going to travel across the world, and we're going to go somewhere else, and we're going to go towards the east area, and we're going to go into India, okay? And they have teachers, and they have mentors, but they have a special kind, and they call it a guru, right? And the guru holds a lot of respect. People walk up and kiss his feet, touch his feet. They make a giant line so he can just walk from his hut to the car or something, right? And they cry and they throw flowers at him and they bring food and gifts, right? So you should know, if you didn't know, that there's somewhere in the world where the respect of a teacher or a guru is that high, right? So we're going to put that up there somewhere. And then you could travel around, and different cultures and different people treat the same subject differently. Okay? A subject called sex. Go to America. Ready? Then from America, go to, let's say, Brazil. Then go from Brazil to Spain. Then go from there to France. Right? Go from France to Persia, Iran, where I'm from, right? Middle East. Go from there to Japan. Okay? Go from there to Thailand. Okay? Everybody treats it a little bit differently. Okay? Everybody treats it a little bit differently. Everybody has teachers. Some put a lot of importance on it, some put less importance on it. Okay? Now, if you're a man, and I'm speaking to men, if you're a man, ready? It is your responsibility. It is your job to go find a teacher. Okay? And stop pretending like you could learn shit without a teacher. That's why there's a role called a teacher. Okay? How mom and dad create the child, teacher and art or teacher and teaching create the student. Right? And those two, the combination of what you're studying and the teacher, they produce the child, the student. Okay? And the student, like a child, grows up. One day a child becomes an adult, has their own kids. Some students become teachers and pass on their genes or memes to the next generation, next generation, next generation. And each generation changes a little bit, but they all come from the same line. Right? Same chi line, same tradition line, same whatever. Spiritual line. Thought line, okay? Now, this is so important because to say I learned from him could be in this grammar, I think it's low grammar, I don't know, or this context, right? For sure in this context. I learned from him could mean I watched him, he did something, I recognized how good it was, and then I did it. So I learned from him. I learned from him, right? Now you can go and learn from anything. Anything. That's one thing, okay? Or you could say in the context of, I learned from him. And it meant I became his student, and he took his time to make sure that every time I was off of what he knew, he fixed it. That's I learned from him, right? So many people learned from my teachers because they wrote books, they're famous, they have videos, all that stuff. They learned from them, right? The same way as last night, we're out in the strip club, I learned from the girls I was talking to, right? Not because they taught me anything, but because I went there and I could learn. So I learned, right? I learned from everything, right? But none of them taught me, right? None of them were my teachers. I didn't hire them as my fucking teachers. I was there with a container ready to learn, no matter what. I was going to come back from the ocean with some water. That's one type of learning, okay? The second type of learning is when the teacher takes responsibility for the student, and that's where things change, right? The teacher, the guru says, okay, check this out. You want to be where I'm at? I'm going to get you there, okay? Then we're going to pause. We're going to pause. My jiu-jitsu teacher is the current #1 ranked guy in jiu-jitsu in the world, black belt, right? I just saw he posted it. He's #1 in the world, right? I'm the first black belt he ever gave. He made sure I learned jiu-jitsu the way he thought jiu-jitsu should be, right? He stopped me many times. He corrected me 1,000 times, blah, 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 right? But he took responsibility every time he gave me a belt, right? He was putting his reputation there. This guy is that belt. This guy is that belt. Then one day he has to make a decision. Am I going to give this fucker a black belt or not? I've never given a fucking black belt to anybody. It's going to be a big step. He better be able to hold that, light somehow, some way. And then he gives his reputation, right? Now the belt is here. You know jiu-jitsu? Yes. What belt are you? Black belt. Oh yeah? How long do you train? Whatever. Under who? Sandra Batata. Bam. Uh-oh. I entered him. I'm name dropping. Right? There's a responsibility when the teacher says, you got it. You got it. Okay? Now, if we're talking about the skill of fighting like jiu-jitsu from a world champion, okay, I have a question for you. However way you could measure it. You may not know anything about jiu-jitsu, okay? Think of fighting world champion. It's a fight, okay? If there's a responsibility, right, where the teacher says, I'm going to get you to where I'm at, right? Little Arash, D-Bazar, one day you're going to be able to beat up bigger people because of what I'm going to teach you. And you're going to know how to maneuver around it. Okay, got it? He's going to give me that. And let's remember where he was, okay? Champion, always been a champion. That guy. Ready? Here's the question I ask you. Ready? What do you think he asked for exchange for it? $175 a month of membership fee of the Jiu-Jitsu Academy I was in? Well, everybody fucking pays that shit, right? Show up to class and train hard? A lot of people do that shit. What is it that's required, right, to get the wisdom from the teacher? So now let's go back to the East. Remember we put guru up there. The reason why they do that is they go to the guru to fix their life. Their life not being just going to the fucking marketplace, meaning they believe they've lived before this lifetime. They believe they've lived before this lifetime. And they believe after they die, they're going to live again, right? And then they meet somebody who's going to fix the problem they had, living before, living now, living later, because they're in hell. For that reason, they submit themselves completely to the guru, right? Now the guru's got a responsibility. Free those fuckers. But what if the guru said, don't drink that tea. And the person was like, why? The guru said, because I told you don't drink that tea. And the guy goes, but what's wrong with it? Maybe the guru says, here's what's wrong with it. Okay? And the guy goes, oh, okay, thank you. Puts it away. Next day, the guy is going to go visit his mom in the hospital or something. The guru says, you can't go. Don't go. No, you can't go. Don't go. And the guy goes, it's my mom. I have to go. And the guru says, don't go. Now the student has to make a decision. Mom's going to die. Guru says no. Ready? Student says, well, I understand, but I have to go. It's my mother. Student leaves. Relationship is finished. It's over. It's done. Okay? So before you pick a teacher, you should go see who and how they are. Right? Just like before you had a kid with anybody or before you fucked anybody. Why don't you go find out who they are and what they're like. Okay? Not the face they put up in front of you all the time. Everybody's got a social mask. What's the person like? Right? Do they have what I want? So now we're going to get into relationships. Okay? If I'm a woman, does he have the qualities I want? End of story. Right? Do I want to be like him or do I not want to be like him? That's it. That's it. Okay? Because you're going to be led by his character. That's why. Right? And if it's somebody that you don't respect, then you don't you can't be led by someone you don't respect. Okay? You just can't do that. To follow somebody, you must respect them or be under threat. So, first I have to check to see, as a woman, if I want to be like him. But how do I know if I want to be like him if we're just going to go to dinner? To a fucking restaurant. Right? I need to see him in the mall. I need to see him in conversation with his friends, if he has any. I need to see him in the daytime. I need to see him at nighttime. I need to see him drinking, not drinking. I want to see. I want to know. I want to know. Okay? And as a woman, I'm going to take my time a lot more because the consequences are huge if I get pregnant from the wrong person. Many of you singles, right? I'm going to have a big fucking problem if that guy, right, was going to take off at some point and now have a kid or 2 or 3 or 7 or whatever the fuck it is. Oh, now I'll go to the next guy, have a kid over there too. So as a woman, I got to be extra cautious when I do that. One reason, the consequences are greater. That's it. What about as a man? What do I need to watch out for? Okay? You have to just speak to some men around you who are a little bit older and who've been in relationships. And you're going to recognize something in all of them. If they've been in relationships, the woman they loved destroyed them at some point. Every single one of them. It starts with your dad. Right? It starts with every single person's dad who's online right now and in person. Your mother destroyed his soul. End of story. And he had 2 choices. 3, he could have killed himself. Some do that. He could have just take off, right? Fuck it, I'm out of here. So then that would leave you, right, without a teacher, without the original teacher. Then, or in some cases, the man sticks around. If your dad stuck around with your mom and they're still together, I would like you to check your dad's balls right now and see if you like to have balls the size of a grape in the future. Especially when it comes to how to deal with women. So how is it that we're doing a worldwide video? There's all kinds of people on from different backgrounds. And why is it that like a psychic, I can tell every person here that if there's a man who says otherwise, he's a liar? We know it. Well, one reason we know it is because we've been researching this information for a long time, right? We're the people who research relationships of men and women, and we've been doing it for a very, very long time. And we don't do it by surveying people like that. We do it by living our own lives, becoming conscious, making mistakes, fixing it. But if it was just one of us, we wouldn't know. In this room where I'm sitting right now, not where you are, where I'm sitting right now in Las Vegas, there's me, 1, 2, that's Lucky, 3, that's Ace, 4, that's Captain, 5, that's 45, 6, that's Groot, and 7, Simba. Now we have 7 intelligent men who are daily and nightly exploring relationships. How to relate. Ready? How to relate to the opposite sex. As the #1 research paper we're all doing. All of us are writing a thesis on it and checking other people's thesis on it. All of us have studied and continue to study all the top papers on the subject. Scientists do that, right? Someone comes with a theory, they put it out. We are in tune. Not only that, there's some scientists who've gotten Nobel Prizes in different fields, or they're geniuses like Einstein. We've also met those people, the ones that are alive, and checked with them. And not only that, we've been out with them and did our own experiments with them. And we haven't stopped. Now, there's only 7 people in this room, but there's a lot of us worldwide. And we're all analyzing these subjects. Ready? 1, we're analyzing our relationship with the opposite sex. And then we're reporting to each other with honesty. Right? If someone bullshits, we say that's a bullshit, whatever. Because none of us are fucking around with our own lives. Okay? None of us want somebody fucking with us. So, we analyze, we talk about it. First, the opposite sex. When you do that, you immediately have to check the way you interact with the society. Because the woman is a part of society. And she has her own little culture, her own friends, her own strangers, right? 2 strangers meeting. They fall in love, they live together. So how does that happen? The moment that you're dealing with the opposite sex, you have to deal with the society. If she's beautiful, then every guy wants her. She has to be only slightly beautiful for every guy to want her. That's a secret that women don't know. If you're not super ugly, and I mean super ugly, right? You can get over, if you're not super ugly, you can get over 85% of men, if not 90% of the men that you look at every single day. Would you guys agree?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They don't know that, right? You've just been lied to your whole life. So you go around, right, and fail at the easiest game you could possibly do. All you gotta do is put the bucket in the fucking river as you're in your boat, bring it up, and there'll be 10 fish, and you can just go again. Right? You could literally be ugly and still get a lot of men, over 50% if you're ugly, right? If you're slightly attractive, you're in the 90s right now. And if you're somebody who, there's 7 of us here, if 5, 6, 7 of us say you're hot, and that's not difficult to do, we all know what a hot girl looks like, then I'm gonna tell you something. You can get 100% of the men you look at. Would you agree or not? Isn't that crazy? Right? 100% of the men you look at, you could have them. I don't mean just have sex with them. You could take them easily. You don't have any competition. There are no women that know how to be women right now. I can teach you 4 techniques on how, maybe 2. Maybe 2. I can teach you to respect him and what that means. I can teach you to admire him and what that means. And you own his soul, right? Money, it's over. Game over. That's why it's useless to try to teach women. Because what am I going to teach you? It's so easy, you wouldn't believe it. Now, men, ready? If you're super ugly, forget about it. Right? But I've been teaching for a long time. I haven't met a super ugly guy yet. Did anybody come to mind besides Sultan? Who's like super ugly? Have you ever had a student when the guy showed up and you're like, that is one ugly son of a bitch, bro? Artist guy?
AA, yeah. Ali.
Yeah, there is deformity. I have students that are deformed, right? at birth, car accident, shit like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, have you ever seen a guy show up in all these years where you just, when he walked up, you're like, that's an ugly motherfucker, dude?
Nah.
No. It's so rare to see like an ugly man. Did you know that? I know that. If I tell you an ugly girl, I bet you can think of a few. I know men are more beautiful than women because all I gotta do is look at nature, and you can look at the bird of paradise, you can look at the peacock, you can look at the fish, the fighting fish, you can look at the hen and the rooster, and God made man more beautiful. For sure. For that reason, women that are Homo sapiens must apply makeup to be able to keep up with the man. Right? Because God made Homo sapiens male, and all males throughout all animals, go look at them, God made him more colorful, more attractive. In fact, if you like to know the hormone that makes people attractive, it's testosterone. Look it up. And men have more testosterone than women. It's a fact, right? Just like everything else, we're lied to. Men are much better looking than women. So much better looking than women that if a man makes himself to be a woman with a dress, a wig, some makeup, he could compete with women. But a woman could not put on pants and a t-shirt, I don't know what else would be manly, you know what I mean? And go compete with men in a man's beauty event. She couldn't do it, but a man could, like this, and win. Right? The truth is that men are more attractive than women everywhere. Everywhere. So why is it that we think the woman's more attractive? Well, because we're not gay. How's that? Right? I'm not attracted to the man. He is more attractive, but when you go into the jungle, you don't see the male lyrebird fucking another male lyrebird. Because they're like, well, look at how pretty he is, and look how pretty he is. They will go towards that ugly brown thing with no color, no sound, no quality, no movement. You know what the fucking thing does? Sits there while the lyrebird is like doing, turning colors and singing, fucking jumps around, does crazy dances, tap dances, does moves like this, goes upside down, right? And the bitch is just plain.
Yeah.
Just looks like just a brown nothing, right? Yeah. Go in the jungle, take a look. We know how beautiful a female lion is until a male lion shows up. She looks bald.
Yeah.
Right? Where's your hair, bitch? Put on a wig.
Yeah.
What happened?
She looks like you.
Right? If there's a difference between the sexes, you'll see it in the male being more beautiful. Even tigers, right? They look like each other. Until you see a female tiger, you go, oh my God, it's so majestic, so beautiful. There's a male Siberian tiger. Oh, that's even more beautiful, even though they look like each other, right? So we're not gonna deny God's creation. We're gonna start with the truth by looking at it and saying that the female Homo sapiens has to color herself on a daily, right? And if she doesn't, she's still cute. Some are pretty even. But she's not all that, really. She's just not all that, really. Okay? She does need to grow her hair out. Right? She has to figure it out somehow, some way. Right? She has to plump her lips, plump her butt and tits. She has to hair extension, eyelash extension, put blush because she's not healthy enough to have a glow. She has to cover her skin because she's wrecked inside with all kinds of fucking impurity, nastinesses that has to come out on her fucking skin. You see that? And I'm looking around and I don't see any men with bad skin, but I see a lot of women with bad skin every fucking day. You see that? I don't see guys trying to cover up 7, 10 pimples on their face. Right? If we get one, we know about it. It's like, damn. See that fucking pimple I got right here? Have you seen her?
Yeah.
Right? As within, so without. Huh? Why is that not applicable here? Why are we denying what the fuck actually is? And that's why you're fucking suffering. The man is more beautiful. The man is stronger. The man is everything she wishes she was. And that's a secret of women. Women want to be men. They don't want to bleed once a month. They don't want to be emotional. They don't want to be weak. They don't want to not be able to swing from tree to tree or climb it. They don't want to not be able to fucking jump, right? They know that they can't keep up. So she admires him. Well, then you better be a fucking man then. You better stop being a chick and start being a man if you want to get women. Because she admires what she can't be, but wants to be. She wants to be like you. You understand? That's how you become, that's how you're a man. Now, if your look as a man, physically, is, hey, these are my theories, okay? I'm the one with the Nobel Peace Prize every fucking week, every year, every month, every day. If, as a man, you want to be more attractive physically to the majority of women, not the warped mental fucking retards, okay? Then there's a test I want you to do. How quickly can we put you in a drag queen, right? How many things do we have to change on you to turn you into a girl? The quicker you could turn into a girl, the less masculine you are. Does that make sense? It's a very powerful fucking idea. It's not even my idea. I read it somewhere, heard it somewhere, but it was so real. It was just like a line in a YouTube video probably, because I have no idea who said it. Okay, normally I would remember them. But anyways, and if you're a woman and you want to know how feminine you are, right? How quickly with makeup and clothing can I turn you into a man, right? What do I have to change as a makeup artist and a costume for Hollywood to turn you into, how long does it take to turn that beastly woman with the big shoulders and big arms and big jawline, right? With the short hair, because she chooses to keep it short. Every single time that the choice is survival or beauty, you better pick survival, right? Some women get certain diseases, their hair falls out. I'm not talking about them. I'm not a fucking, you know what I mean? I'm not evil. They're not in the list, right? When we talked about men who weren't attractive, we had some examples of people who had no fucking choice in it. With those people, we have compassion and we help them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the real retarded person who has everything going for themselves and is a blasphemist. What's a blasphemy? Blasphemy is when you talk bad about God. Okay? When you cuss at God, when you swear at him, right? And blasphemy in our belief system at INC Nation is simple. You're not being your best, and you have excuses. You have reasons why you can't be who you want to be, and those reasons are in your head. They're not real. They're not real. They don't count, okay? They don't count just because you have an idea that you choose to be a slave to. Yeah, it's uncomfortable to do that and do this and do that. But again, I'm going to put humans aside. I'm going to go into nature. Where is the creature with comfort that God created? Where is the one today? Which creature today, from insect to fish to birds to mammals? Which one of them is just chilling today, taking a fucking vacation, right? What is that? The vacation was sold to you by the people who sell the vacation, right? The ones who tell you to go on a cruise ship or go to this island or whatever the fuck they want you to do, they are advertising to you, right? Somewhere in there is a group of executives going, all right, let's put this image, put this, put this, put this. Let's get these suckers, right? Bring them to Las Vegas. Not to live here, because that would make sense, actually, but to visit here, right? Let's make them work really hard, save their money, so they could come spend it here, right? In our casinos, on our prostitutes, on our streets. And so Las Vegas always has life, right? Because it's the place people go to do what? To sin Well, okay, let's take a look at this. All right? Take a look at this. If you go from here to the Middle East, there are certain things you do right now that's going to put you in jail over there, just so you know. Okay? It's a different culture. They are convinced that you're evil for doing certain things here. Okay? And if you go from there to here and you act exactly as that culture, you're going to be in trouble. I don't know if they're going to put you in jail, but probably. Okay? Over there, people, adults and kids, they fight with their fists. It's normal to do that. Here, you can't get in a fight in school anymore. Right? It's just like, it is. Listen, boys need to get in fights. How's that? Would you agree? It's like the movie Fight Club. What do you know about yourself as a man if you've never gotten in a fight? Now, you could be 30, 40, never got in a fight. Good. We're going to have a martial arts school, and you're going to get in a fight. One of my greatest moments of my life happened last night, and it wasn't in the strip club. It was on my way to the strip club. I have a friend of mine. Please cut this out for him, okay? So I can send it to him. I have a friend of mine, okay? I trained jiu-jitsu with. We were classmates, okay? And in my opinion, he's one of the best jiu-jitsu guys I've ever seen in my life, right? Take the top people I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of jiu-jitsu people. What's that?
We have some online right now.
Yeah, we do? Good. My friend, who's my classmate, he got his black belt a little bit after me, but we were brown belts at the same time. We were purple belts at the same time. We were blue belts. He was blue belt before me, I think. But we went up together, right? I admire him so much that all my friends know his name, even though they haven't met him, right? Man, just one of my most favorite people in the world, right? I haven't heard from him in a long time. He trained in the jiu-jitsu school. I asked him, get his number for me, because like that guy. We're driving, and my phone rings, and there's his name. And I get up, I say, Hobbit? That's his nickname. And he paused. Do you remember when he paused? He was surprised that I knew. I got it too, right? He's like, yeah. And then we had about maybe a minute and a half conversation, maybe two for pushing it, right? But by the time we hung up, two men, we were both, I was glowing. I said, I'm going to go out tonight. I'm going to do it for Hobbit, for my friend. He's fine. He's in San Jose. He's killing it, okay? But the love that we shared came from a few things. Ready? We've been in so many fights against each other and against other men. And we remained friends through it, right? The way men resolve their issues is they fight each other, okay? They can do it with words. You got to let two men argue it out. They're not women. They're not to go and gossip behind each other's back. You guys have a problem? Here we are. Let's go. Okay? I hope it stays into words, right? But if it's going to go into fists and you're okay with it and you're okay with it, then we're okay with it. Go. But it's not going to turn into knives and guns, right? Because the only reason you're fighting is to resolve your conflict. Now, I want to end it with that because this lecture went longer than I wanted to go. If you're in a relationship and you get into an argument, there's one purpose behind it, to resolve the conflict. It's not to create more conflict. You get it? That's a whole different idea. It may sound like the same thing, but it's not. I say one is this bucket. The other one is a whole other bucket. You know why? Because this other solving solution has different ingredients that this one doesn't have. Okay? In order to solve it, in order to clean it, right? Windex or Clorox or whatever, thank you, you are going to have to put a cleaning agent inside that thing that's not there already. Okay? It's not just the toothbrush by itself. Put something on it, whatever the fuck it is you use, right? And we know the difference of brushing with just a toothbrush and not. You can tell the cleanliness inside. Whether fluoride or not, it doesn't have to be fluoride, okay? But I do know my ancestors, when they went through the jungle, they grabbed little leaves and they went like this. They used certain leaves, mint leaves, whatever, right? So that became our toothpaste. You see that? And everything in your life has to make sense to you. And it's your job to make sense out of it. And if you do that, you're going to evolve. Because it's going to require intelligence to go observe, ask questions, check, experiment, take risks, feel a little bit of pain, fix it. That's IMC Nation, okay? We're going to go to an all men's class. Hope to see you there. As my teacher Manu Tupo said, be the best and fuck the rest. Let's go.